everybody. So I didn't know then if it. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our meeting for the Public Art Commission of Palo Alto. Let's start with a call to order and roll call. Vice Chair Shen.
Present.
Commissioner Waltuck.
Lisa, you're on mute.
Lisa, you muted.
You're still muted.
Okay.
Perfect.
There you go.
I know, I just have to say my,
Yeah.
okay, here
Thank
we
you.
go. Okay. I am attending the meeting remotely under AB 2449 for Just Cause because I am caring for a family member.
Thank you for
Nobody else
attending.
is in the room.
Good.
Oh, thank you. Commissioner Smith.
Yes, I'm present and I am attending the meeting remotely under provision AB 2449 Just Cause. I'm out of town taking care of family members in Austin, and I am attending this meeting alone in my hotel room.
Thank you. Commissioner De La Garza.
Present.
Wonderful. Do we have any agenda changes, additions, or deletions?
No changes or deletions.
Wonderful. Is there any public comment?
So for non-agendized items, we take public comments from the audience in the physical space. Nobody's in attendance. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I would like to now go ahead and approve our minutes from our previous meeting, which was June 20th.
I move.
May I have a second?
Approved.
Wonderful. Let's go through the roll call, please. Vice Chair Shen.
Yes.
Commissioner De La Garza.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith.
Yes.
Commissioner Waltuck.
Yes.
And Chair Gordon, yes. Minutes have been approved. Moving on to our action items, very exciting. I'm sure everyone is waiting to look at this cool design for Fire Station 5. Oh, sorry, I skipped over city official comments. Do we have any comments?
Yes, we have a few very exciting updates and comments. Let me share
Thank you.
my screen and I will present them. Just 1 second. Okay, 1 second.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so here we go. Starting from, so last meeting on June 20th, the commission approved the conceptual design by artist Cameron Moberg for Coberly Community Center. So he really jumped on the job, and literally the following week he started the project at Coberly. So here you see complete view of the mural. So it's actually a system of 2 walls, and I want to say just our kudos to Cameron. He really expanded his initial scope, and I'll show you in detail. So this is a sort of close-up view of the wall on the U wing. So it's really visible now from Middlefield Road, just like entrance to the campus. And really the artist just expanded and continued, essentially ended up painting the rest of the other like facing wall. Yeah, so just
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
and another just amazing fact, it was just fascinating watch him, paint, and he worked so fast. I think he completed the entire mural in just over 3 days.
Wow.
Yes, and so given the location, especially the wall here, it faces some sunlight during the day. So to protect the mural and all the vibrant colors, it was also clear coated for the UV and graffiti anti-graffiti protection. So that's the first update. Secondly, we have some really awesome events coming up. So first of all, so we're in the midst of community engagement research with our 3 artists selected to design and paint murals in the downtown district. So Harumo Sato, who was selected for the All Saints Episcopal Church site, she will be holding a Meet the Artist event with general public to really just learn more about the district, different stories, and use that input to inform her creative, her conceptual design. So this meeting will take place on Wednesday, July 24th at 2 p.m. It will take place on Zoom because the artist is currently in Japan. So we're going to be just connecting from across the world. The Zoom link is featured here, and it's also available on our website, and we'll be making additional announcements on social media. Another exciting Meet the Artists event will be taking place the following week on Monday, July 29th at 10 a.m. It's with artist Mona Caron, who is currently in Sweden, participating in the big murals festival there, and Nigel Sassman, who resides in Berkeley and will be joining the meeting from there. So again, the purpose of the meeting is just to connect with the artists, learn about their creative practice, and help inform their conceptual designs for the downtown murals. So just to remind, Nigel will be painting his mural on the site of the Pacific Art League right here, and Mona will be painting the alleyway facing wall at Max that just is right next to Bell's Books. And last but not the least, another exciting event coming up. It's a pop-up portrait workshop with our King Artist residence in residence, Alma Landetta. So there will be on site on King Plaza right here on Friday, July 26th, between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. So the artist will be just sketching and doing portraits and engaging with members of the public. So everybody's welcome to join, say hi to the artist, and try their hand in portraiture drawing. Nice. And that's it for staff comments today. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm glad we didn't skip over those. Oh my gosh. Okay, moving ahead to the Fire Station 5 mural. Looking forward to that update. Thank you.
Okay, again, bear with me. I'll just set up my media here. Yes, so it was a very exciting month. A lot has been accomplished. So I'm really excited. We're really excited to present this concept to you today. So 1 second, just about to share. Okay, and the technology behaved today. All right, so let me start from the beginning and just walk you a little bit just through the overall opportunity to refresh everybody's memories. So Fire Station 5, you see the image of that station. It's located at 600 Arrestradero in southwest Palo Alto. So it's the station is adjacent to Juana Briones Park. It's a welcoming community hub providing emergency services, fire, and life safety services to the Palo Alto community. So as you can see from this image, it's a sizable scale, and this mural will really enjoy high visibility. Just will be experienced by pedestrians, cyclists, drivers using that busy intersection of Aristodero and Clemo Avenue. As a reminder, this mural will be temporary in nature, just due to the potential need to replace the door in the future, and also just general like wear and tear on that roll-up door. And we're thinking that should everything go well tonight, we're hoping to start painting the mural on site in the end of August. So coming up. Okay, so just walk you briefly through the artist selection process. The public art staff utilized our pre-qualified muralist roster of 218 artists, and 55 California-based artists were identified and contacted about this opportunity. We assembled a selection panel comprised of Barron Park Neighborhood Association representative John King, Stephen Lindsay, deputy chief with the city's fire department, Jennifer Samoya, who is Barron's Park Kids Club and provider for the childcare provider in that neighborhood, Harumo Sato, who's our Coverly artist, and also her kiddo goes to one of the childcare facilities, like right there.
Oh,
so
wow.
she's very familiar with that neighborhood. Another artist, Shannon Wright, and our own Lisa Woltag, public art commissioner. So the commission had a pretty tough task on their hands to go over a big roster of talented artists. There was some online review and evaluation, followed by in-person meeting where a short-listed pool of artists was reviewed in more detail. And the result of that, Bodek Luna, a muralist based in Long Beach, California, was recommended for this opportunity. So Bodek Luna, he has quite a portfolio of completed artworks in his tool belt. Most of his work can be found in Southern California, LA, and his native Long Beach. So we're really excited to host the artist when he came here for a couple of days to do his site visits and community engagement. So let me go to that. Yeah, so Bodek flew out for 2 days in early June, and we held really fun community pop-up meet and greet, and Amanda was present at that meeting. So we had some community members join in and just chatting with the artist. The fire team who was on shift that night came by with the engine, and we were able to say hi to them. So it was really nice to connect with community members in the neighborhood. Then we held an on-site meeting with the fire station personnel the next day at the station, and it was really insightful to learn about their work and just how much it is just beyond, fighting fires, and really what they do to serve the community. Just their day-to-day routines, they're like some coping techniques, and just it was really neat to see the station from within. In addition, we had a really interesting meeting with our Palo Alto historian, Steve Steiger. So that was really insightful to learn sort of overall history of Palo Alto in that neighborhood in particular. We held a community Zoom meeting for those who couldn't attend in-person pop-up. So that was great. That meeting was recorded, and it's available for anyone on our website. And in addition to that, Bodek toured the neighborhood, all the adjacent parks. So we went to Ballpark. He met Perry the donkey, and he was busy. So it was really nice. So all that, he was just like buzzing, like with ideas, and it was really incredible to just spend that time with him. And based on that, really, he came back with so much inspiration and so much like input, like incredible stories from the community. So some of the sort of key elements that informed his design. You know, like for example, from the fire team, you know, they really wanted for that mural to be welcoming, inviting, you know, like encouraging to approach the station and have like a discovery, like, you know, like element to it. They wanted to be the imagery to be accessible to people of all ages. There's a lot of sort of families with young children that use that corridor, you know, so they really wanted like some of their like youngest audience, like, you know, community members to be able to like approach and kind of like discover the mural. And also just we talked about the mural to be sort of a reflection on the department's like just a very wide range of community service, like I said, beyond just like firefighting, you know. In addition, you know, just really some of the insights that came through our engagements with the community members, you know, people really like Barron Park, you know, neighborhoods, they're really proud of being residents, and that part of Palo Alto, it has a very interesting, unique history. Just the natural landscape is so beautiful and lush, you know, it's sort of like it opens into the open space, like right Foothills Park. So there's a lot of sort of natural landmarks that people are really proud of. Yeah, and so for example, at the community meeting, we're chatting with this I guess woman who does like like walks, like nature walks, and she was able to name every flower native to that, you know, district, and you know, she connected with Boduk and like was like feeding him this information. So all of that was taken into his design, and so with that. Here's the digital rendering. So remember the scale of this door, it's massive, right? You got Boduk's statement, and I'll just like just quote some of the highlights. So the firehouse gate is to be transformed into a vibrant and lush portal for the community to reflect and bask on their local history and nature as major themes of the mural. In Beyond the Sequoias, this is the working title for the mural, the audience is taken on a journey from landscapes in the past and back into the present and along the way snippets of Barron Park iconography folded into the bushes. So for example, between so you see some of the flowers featured in the murals. These were actually the plants that the community member, you know, was talking about, you know, with Boduk. So we can see here the Indian paintbrush flowers, blue lupin, California poppies, of course. You can also find some mascots for local schools in the neighborhood, right? So you can see the Spartan helmet for Gone, Fletcher Tigers, right? There will be also a little tiny bee hidden away for the Barron Park Elementary School, and a trumpet for Fletcher Middle School. Of course, in the foreground, you see Perry the donkey, the local celebrity, with his pals in the back. You know, the graphic interpretation of those yellow clouds, for example, it's something very typical and iconic to Boduk's work, and you can see it across his other murals and paintings. Well, of course, the bell, right, that is prominently featured in front of the station, the red and golden trim sort of framing the mural is something that we saw at the fire station, because they're decorating their doors, you know. And the figure that you see looking out at sort of Matadero Creek here, it's Juana Briones. And really just with that, Boduk wanted to celebrate you know, women and their role in building this community. And Juana Briones was one of the most prominent figures in Palo Alto, especially in that part of the city. of course, the historic fire truck that you see, it's a truck that we saw in ballpark. So yeah, and up here you'll see a couple of chili peppers because the famous firefighters hot sauce originated at that station. They were growing chili peppers in the back and making that sauce just for the the personnel, and then it really took onto this journey, and now it's being produced in much bigger quantities, and all the proceeds go for nonprofit for this charity. Yeah, so a lot of really iconic sort of iconography, recognizable iconography specific to that neighborhood. So in Bodek's words, I really wanted this mural to honor the spirit of strong women who are always looking out for the well-being of their community as if everybody is family. I truly hope that the locals resonate with the mural and that they could not only learn a little bit about their local history, but also a bit more about each other as they travel down the mural together, walk away with a bit more neighborhood pride. So our colleagues at the fire department were really instrumental in helping us to facilitate all the meetings with the communities, the personnel. We shared this design with them. They're thrilled with it. So, and here it is presented to you. So welcome your questions and comments. Oh, and I'm so sorry, I should say that today we request that the Public Art Commission approve the conceptual design by Bodek Luna for the Fire Station 5.
I have a question. Can I ask?
Yes, Lisa.
Okay. Thank you for that. That was really thorough, and I, love all the work that all the kind of discovery and communication with the community. It is also my neighborhood, and I also went to both of those schools, so I feel very connected to that. So I just had a couple comments. One, I didn't see, did you say there's a trumpet?
Yes, there is a trumpet. The version that so the rendering that you looked at, actually, the trumpet is not there yet, but it will make an appearance. Yeah.
Okay, and then
trumpet and the bee.
And then is what looks like a peach? Is it an apricot actually?
Yes, it's an apricot just as an homage to the what is it, to all the apricot
well, the orchards were all around there.
Yeah,
they were
around
right there.
that neighborhood. Yeah, thank you.
So also I appreciate the school mascot, so that it is Fletcher Tigers, but for gun it's Gun Titans, and you said Spartan, and I just wanted to make sure that is a Titan, because that would be a gaffe if that's not accurate. So just make sure that is an accurate.
Thank you
didn't
for that.
quite strike me as being accurate, so you just might want to double check that.
Okay.
That looks more like a Trojan.
Yeah, it looks more like a Trojan or a Spartan. It does not look like a Titan. So
yeah.
Very important. Thank you.
And sorry, one last question. The red and gold, was that a connection to the or a symbol of the fire trucks? I saw the framing and I liked it, but I didn't know what the reference was.
Yeah, absolutely. So it references, I think, the trim on the engines, but also when we visited the station, some of the doors inside the stations were, that's the ornamentation sort of that the fire department put on those doors. So it was kind of like a tribute to that little accent.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a question. You were saying that the mural is intended to be a welcoming mural, and I was looking at the pictures or representation of Juana Briones. I understand that there's an elementary school nearby that is named after her, and I wonder about the decision to make her from the back. Is her silhouette one that the elementary school and sort of the local community members can recognize based on the silhouette that who this is representing?
Yes, thank you for this question. So that image was compiled by the artist from a couple of very iconic, recognizable images of Helena Briones. So there's a lot of historic archival photographs feature her hair style and also the dress. So so the image is like amalgamation of a few very recognizable, iconic, images of Helena Briones. So she would be recognizable, although we're not infringing any like copyrighted material.
Right. Yeah, because
And I would also add that that's not the mascot of the school, just to be clear.
Okay, thank you. We'll follow up about that. That's important.
I mean, I think it's better to have her. The mascot is something I can't even remember, but
yeah,
I think
I mean, she
it's like
is,
a paw print.
yeah.
yeah,
they-
it's really like the imagery of depiction of Juana Briones is really just kind of a nod to, her and other like, female community leaders.
Yeah.
And really just their impact on Palo Alto in terms of, you know, the creation of, community centers, gathering spaces, libraries, and just advancing our like cultural institutions.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I think most of the images I've seen of her is face on, so that's why I just want to make sure, people can appreciate the reference.
Yeah, but as the artist saying, it's her spirit looking over, with beautiful Matadero Creek, and so just kind of like enjoying the scenery, as like she's one of us in the audience, really enjoying the view.
Thank you. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it looks like there's two schools represented, but, and then you said that the bee will be added. And I wasn't really sure what the mascot for Juana Briones is, but it would be nice if that was added. I think it makes it special.
It's my kids went there too, and I'm forgetting, but it's I think like all their t-shirts had a little paw print, so I can't remember if it's like a Panthers or it's like some cat, but I think it's not so it's not so meaningful in terms of being like representative of Palo Alto.
I'm sorry, I missed part of the conversation. I'll have to watch the watch the tape. Is there anyone else who has a comment?
I find this mural very exciting and I love the colors. I like the rendition of the fire truck. You were saying that that's a fire truck that exists
Yeah,
in
you
the
can
city.
find it in Bull Park.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Near the I think donkey enclosure. It's in that area of the park.
Yeah, I guess I would wonder if the fire truck would be a little more prominent in the imagery.
Yeah, so like I said, it's a conceptual rendering. I think there might be some like refinements and sort of slight changes to this, but like conceptually this is the artist's intent, right? But maybe the presentation of that rendition of like that truck might be slightly different. This is like very graphic, might be like more like sort of like realistic looking, what like it's really interesting about Bodek's work is like how he can just juxtapose sort of like flat graffiti based imagery against like hyper realistic images, and like it creates this like really striking visual environment.
Yeah, I'm imagining that once it's completed, it will be more cohesive.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was wondering if you can kind of dial back to the original picture you have of the site, because I think that would give us greater context of how this mural will fit. Obviously, I imagine there'll be trucks parked around the vicinity from time to time. So there will be reference points to that. And I think this is probably a mural that puts it in the context of the community and the history of this locality.
Absolutely. Yeah, let me just share this image. I think this image helps to appreciate the scale of that roll-up door, right? I think the garage, like, right, is large enough to accommodate what, 2 engines. So it's a really tall door. So, you know, the mural, like, it will really pop and will be like really visible from that intersection.
And I remember we've seen this before from different angle because of the location. So you could see, you know, it's like an intersection. And you know, I think this is the building itself, but there's, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of frontage, and then you can see it from different corners. And I don't know where the truck is usually parked, but you have there are a lot of different things going on. And so this picture will be taken in the context of all these other reference points.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Can I ask one more question about maintenance?
Yes.
So I know you said that we're going to consider it as temporary because the door may need to be replaced or just because of the nature of the roll-up door and the use. I think the one thing that we should be especially aware of is, like, we don't want it to fall into complete disrepair. So if the door is scratching the mural and it just looks worse and worse, like, at what point do we make the decision to take off the mural, or are we even able to do that? Like, if it's just looking rattier and rattier over time, how do we address that?
Yeah, no, that's a really great question. Thank you. So a couple of sort of preventative, the way we approached this project, because yeah, it is unique, like it's a roll-up door, you know, there's stress points. So we when Bodek visited Palo Alto, first of all we wanted to see how the painted surface will, you know, just take on like sort of like this wear and tear. So we created a couple of test points and just to see how that paint will fare. And I just went on site, you know, to that site to check on the paint samples yesterday, and I was pretty pleased with how it's looking. So I'm not seeing any new scratches on the painted surface. First of all, another important point here. So Bodek did like a really detailed survey of the existing conditions, and the way he created sort of his composition, he took into consideration all those areas with scratched surfaces. So they will be really diminished. They will fall into like the darker areas of the mural, and they will be less visible, you know, and also just the overall scale of the elements will not make, you know, this hair, like, you know, very thin, like scratches, like very visible. So he really took that into consideration. He'll be using aerosol paint, and it's you know, it's a really thin application of a paint system, so it's not going to be just, you know, stretched and scratched as fast as, like, you know, if you would apply a paint with a paintbrush, first of all. And yeah, we'll be closely monitoring, because the last thing, you know, we want is to paint this large scale mural and then just like let it fall into disrepair. So we'll be monitoring it, you know, closely. We'll see how it does, and just take, you know, like any, you know, measures like that would need to be taken. Yeah.
So would that be something that is like, does the Art Commission have jurisdiction over it? Does the neighborhood have jurisdiction over it? Do the firemen have, like, at some point is somebody going to say, this is really getting too worn? And is it possible to remove the paint from that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand how at the end of its life it's going to be handled and whose call it's going to be, and then how it will happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would like to like cross this bridge when we approach it. We'll just like, it's a pilot, we'll have to see how it ages. And I think it's a conversation that's going to take place between, staff, commission, and also like our partners at the fire department, so.
I think Commissioner Woltock brings up a good point, which is this is under the mural program, and mural program we generally have it built in so that this is expected to be 5 years, a temporary mural. Now, in a situation like this where the location and the material is high use, right? So obviously you guys are accounting for the material, compensating it with the material. Then the question is, do you need to build in a maintenance fee for, let's say, if you need touch-ups in the 3-year period, or what is the accession? Yeah.
I think the touch-ups will not, amount to such, big quantities. Also, we looked into many examples of murals painted on like similar roll-up doors. The plenty of examples, especially on the East Coast. As a matter of fact, actually, Bodok found a local department in Long Beach, and he went to talk to and like really look at the door. So he kind of like took that under consideration. You're right, tentatively we're looking at murals for like 5 years and such. So we think it's a reasonable amount of time to expect out of this artwork, and then we'll make a decision.
Thank you.
Are there any further comments about this project? Would anyone like to approve this, make a motion to approve this mural?
I approve.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Okay, as this is an action item, may I have approval from Vice Chair Chen?
Yes.
Commissioner Waltuck?
Sorry, I'm going to say yes, but I'm just assuming that Nadia, all the feedback that we've given, you're going to pass on to Bodok. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, we always
Okay.
do.
Okay, yes.
Approved.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Chair Gordon, yes. Thank you. Moving on to the second action item, the annual work plan that we will be reviewing with council in August. I don't know if people have had time to take a look at this. I want to thank Nadia for cleaning it up for us and adding beautiful images. So we can proceed, and if people have any comments about the work plan or just questions about it, I'd be happy to open it up for discussion.
Chair Gordon, may I make a suggestion? I was wondering, because I know you work extensively on this document, I was wondering, and it's a complicated document because of the format. I was wondering if you can maybe give a summary or like kind of walk the other commissioners through this document. Thanks.
Absolutely. This is probably the third or fourth year we've had this document given to us by the city council, and it's a standard boilerplate document that they give to all the commission and boards, so we can all present to them our work plan for the next year in the same template, so it's easier for the commission or the council to review it. So when you start out, we just give a general definition of what the Public Art Commission is, how many members we have, what our terms are, and what we do. So as you read through this, you'll see that that is basically information that can be found on our website and in our bylaws and such. And then we list the commissioners, which is great. And give them our mission statement. And then we move on to tell them what our priorities are. These priorities we discuss and approve at our retreat every year. So we have a building community priority, social justice priority, and a public art education priority that we voted on at our retreat this year. These are the things that we're focusing on. And they really help us decide what to do. We obviously make decisions with these in mind, but we also use strategic plans that we have at our use. So these are the adopted priorities: building community, social justice, and public art education. Then we give the council a quick look at our prior year accomplishments, and that's really fun to talk about and look at things that we've done over the past year, which you can see listed here. Then we move on to kind of a funky layout and talk about our projects and goals for the upcoming year. And our first goal, or what we thought was our top priority this year, is the King Artist Residency with our new artist in residence, Alma Landetta. It talks a little about what their focus is, and then the impacts to Palo Alto, resources that we need, the success that we expect, and different laws that were approved to get this artist in residency. The second goal, murals, 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 is about all the murals that we're doing this year, the 3 murals downtown, Art Lift grants, which, as you guys know, are the utility boxes. And I think we're also doing, yes, the mural that we just talked about, Fire Station number 5. And then there is a mural planned for the California Avenue parking structure. So, and we talked, again, each project that we do, we give the beneficial impacts, timeline, resources, et cetera. So you can read through that. Goal 3, these are projects that we're working on that are in capital improvement projects. So Fire Station number 4, the Public Safety Building, and Bullwell Park. These are all projects that we've discussed in the past, and you can see a little bit of information about them there. Project 4, Public Art and Private Development. As you know, we with private development, we do have 1% that's dedicated to public art. And this lists current projects, including the project known as the Cannery Project, which is at 3200 Park Boulevard, Castellea, and a big project coming on University Avenue. Then always we inform the commission that we, or the council, that we use their annual budget for the annual maintenance budget, and we talk about what's been done to keep our artwork in good shape and preserved. And thankfully, Nadia adds wonderful graphics and also some data points that cover things that we've done in the past and projects that are happening right now. So it is a lot to kind of read through. If you have any questions about it, let's talk about this work plan now. Thank you.
Lauren, one thing was the Code Art 2025. Did you want to add? I saw that as project goal 5.
Yes. Well, that will be our 4th Code Art project. So I'm sure we'll be doing a call. Nadia and Elise will put a call out to artists, but we'll probably have some discussion coming up on that. I would think early September, don't you think? Maybe August.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yes, so we'll begin planning for that, but it won't take place until the October 2025.
Can I ask a question? Just project goal number 3 versus number 4. So one is the CIP and one is the private development. And the way I understand it, maybe I'm misremembering this, so everybody will learn it together with me, is I think that the private development is obviously they have to, these individual private projects, they have to contribute 1%. Now they can contribute fund to the coffer, and or they can decide, hey, you know what, I'm going to just use it on my site. And so the private development are the projects that they're going to use that 1% on their site. And is the CIP the in lieu of?
So a CIP is it's a municipal development, so capital improvement projects and municipal development. So two ordinances, and we're fortunate to have 1% for public art, both in municipal development and private development. So different processes, though, like we separate them as different goals.
Got it. And the in lieu of funds goes to fund the other projects. Is that correct?
So with capital improvement projects, all funding 1% for public art, it gets pooled into our public art CIP, and there's certain projects like, for example, Fire Station 4, Bulwer Park. These are big projects, and there's a public art element on site for those projects, right? But also having CIP funds pooled gives us flexibility to really sometimes focus on those areas geographic, for example, where, it makes most sense and where those funds are most consolidated. Right. And with percent for art in private development, you're absolutely correct. There is an option for a developer to commission a public art on site. Or if it's not an option for any reasons, they may also contribute 1% for it into public art funds, like in lieu.
Good question. Are there any other questions or discussion about this? Has everyone had a chance to look through it?
I'll just make one more comment. So the pictures, thank you so much for the pictures. And the way I understand the pictures is that they are actually pictures of prior year accomplishments, and they are put in the order of the prior year accomplishment list.
Absolutely correct.
Right.
So the plan that, the work plan that you are looking at, all the image samples are only for the accomplished projects.
Yeah.
So we will work on a slide presentation for the actual presentation to City Council. And those slides will touch on some highlights for the accomplishments, but also will really focus on those projects in progress and future plans.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this work plan will be updated after the next retreat. Is that correct?
That is
Yeah, each retreat, one of the purposes for a public art commission retreat is really just to identify a scope of priorities, projects in the pipeline, and how they resonate with the approved goals for the commission.
And actually, in case this is helpful, because it's been a moving target, so it's not like a neat January 1st to December type of period. It's from when we go and present to the city council. So there was an earlier draft where we had this last mural, which is reflected here, listed as a current year project. But then he got it done so quickly, it's already accomplished. So, it got made to accomplishments from the prior year. The one thing I will say is these charts, you'll look at every one of the projects, and at the bottom there's priority, like which priority, right? And then so we were always scratching our heads like, how do you put our 3 priorities into these projects? How do you kind of peg them? And it was through very much learning about our process. What we realized was, and you'll see in the mission statement where we talked about the priorities, we had the 3 priorities. And, we talked about building community and then the public art education priority. And what we realized, well, speaking for myself, I was inspired and realizing that every project, from the artist selection, from the community engagement, from the feedback, the community education of the artists, the locality research, all that cross-pollination really meant that every project necessarily meet two of the priorities. The building community priority and the public art education priority. Now, obviously, I think there's another priority, which is the social justice priority, and that could be the project specific by the subject matter or by the project, the nature of the project.
That's really helpful. Thank you. And yes, just continue to ask questions because of course I've been through this process a lot. So I think your questions are really helping clarify and I appreciate that so much.
Still
Yeah.
learning.
We always are, right? So does anyone else have any questions? Well, I would like to ask someone to make a motion to approve this work plan then, please.
I motion to approve the plan substantially in the form hereof with, room for minor adjustments as necessary.
I second the plan.
Thank you. And now we will do a roll call. Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner De La Garza,
Present.
can you say,
Yes.
thank you. Vice Chair Chen
Yes.
and Commissioner Waltuck
Yes.
and Chair Gordon, yes. Report
There's a
back
lot
to
of work,
you
so
on
congratulations to
how
review.
the presentation goes to the City Council next month. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So it will be great to do that. Moving on, Nadia, we have some non-action items, an update on the utility box art lift grants. Thank you.
A quick one. We've been busy. So as you recall, last month we came to the commission with some initial, I think with a group of 5 designs that we shared with you. So I have a few more to share with you today. And okay, it's just this is okay, that's it. So for example, right now you are looking at conceptual design by Sophia Lee. She was actually a recipient of another micro grant a couple of years ago. So she applied and was selected for this opportunity. So this image will be going to utility box at East Meadow Drive. It's right at the entrance to Mitchell Park at Meadow. Yeah. See the next one. Okay. And you see that the form that different artists like provide their renderings like in different formats. We're totally fine with that. Paula Saslow is actually a Palo Alto based artist, hyper local, so she will be painting her mural at a utility cabinet here in downtown, 200 Hamilton Avenue. It's by Sephora, so it's at the intersection of Hamilton and Emerson. Another concept to share with you, David Polka. So his mural will be painted at the box here at Hamilton and Waverly parking lot. That's the site that's right next to AT&T building with that big wall where we did a couple of installations for code art. So there's a nice cabinet there. And I'm really excited about this concept. So that came last week from David Toms and the Palo Alto Teens Arts Council team. So they have a nice box, which has like this really prominent location across the street from Town and Country. right next to Pelly High School. And we already have one project completed. So. Okay, so if you're right, so Midtown, it's right by what is Uber Eyes shop in Midtown at Middlefield in Colorado. So the artist, we presented his concept to you last month, and here we are, the mural's on, and he had a young assistant, his nephew was helping the artist to paint, and once the artist completed his work, we had the box clear coated for UV and graffiti protection. So one down.
Yeah.
I have a question. So when we're looking at the designs, some of the designs show the top fold.
Mhm.
So, and then some of them don't. They just kind of show the envelope around. So what happens with the top fold when there's no?
Yeah, in my experience, all sides, including the top, they get primed and coated in base color. And it doesn't make much sense to really have an elaborate design on that surface, but just to like coat it along like the same color with the rest of the wall, so it's all cohesive, right? Yeah. But there are different boxes. Some cabinets are tall, and nobody will see that, that top side. But some cabinets, like for example, for Sophia Lee's, her cabinet is shorter, so it makes sense to have it painted like on across all sides.
That's so fun. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. Thank you for the update. Are there any public letters?
No public letters this month.
Commissioners, do you have any questions or comments that you'd like to share at this time?
Just that these murals are really adding some color to Palo Alto. Yay.
It's fun. Well, if that is it, this concludes our meeting, and be sure to watch for confirmation for the next meeting because we did change the date. And I think it's the 28th, is that correct? of
Yes,
August?
thank you so much for mentioning that. Just as a reminder, our regular meeting on August 15th has been canceled. It's official, so please don't come. And then in lieu of that, we have a confirmed date for Wednesday, the 28th at 7 p.m., same location, community meeting room here. Thank you.
Wonderful. I look forward to seeing you then. The meeting's adjourned.
Instated.